Hi everyone, I'm Holly D, and today we're going to be making bass like this. And like this. And like this.
You know how we get.
Okay, so let's get straight into it then. So yeah, I'm just going to play the track, but before I do that, I have actually finished this one up here, and I'm going to be giving it away on Patreon in March. So yeah, it'll be a Patreon exclusive. So if you want to get this track, just head over there. The link's in the description, and you can get that track. It'll be available from the 1st of March. So I'm just going to give it a play. Where should we play it from? About here? Yeah, we'll play it from about here.
You know how we get. You know how we get. You know. Down. You know how we get. You know how we get.
Okay, so let's start off with this first one then. Then we can have a look at some of these variations. But yeah, I'm going to turn the processing off. So you can see it's basically the same sound. It's just all coming from Serum. So let's get straight into that. First off, I'll just show you the MIDI. It's just at D sharp 1. It's just a 1-bar note basically. So yeah, it's all coming from Serum. What we're going to do is turn the effects off. So you can hear it's just basically sub. Most of the sound is coming from that, from all the effects. But yeah, let's start from oscillator B and the sub, because I've decided to start from oscillator B this time. So the sub dropped down by 1 octave there, just to get it into the sub region. And I've just turned the level up to 100. It's not going direct out, so it's going into the effects. So this wavetable here, this anti-stasis, which is under the digital folder, is going to be, combining with that into the effects section. So yeah, LFO1 is shaping the wavetable position, attack. Essentially what this is doing, it's on envelope mode, by the way, over 2 bars. And because it's just like sustaining, it's just shaping this part here at how it all comes in. So it's going from LFO1 to the wavetable position and to the level. So it's going from, they're both from the 0. And let's have a look how much they're moving them up as this comes up here. So the volume, the level is being moved up 61, and the wavetable position is being moved up to 37. And you can see there's the types, the line's just going straight forward. So yeah, the sync window's not being used, so that doesn't, you don't have to worry about that. And I have turned the random off here. And I'm putting it into this filter here, which is not really doing a lot. You can see it's just removing a little bit of extreme top end. There's nothing there. So yeah, not necessary, but just in case. I think the noise is going into it too. So it's just doing that to the noise a bit. So LFO1 is also on the noise. It's going from 0 to like 6, I think, or 7. We'll just double check that. Yeah, 7. Just to add a little bit of noise in there when it gets distorted, bring it out. I don't know if it's really doing too much, to be honest, but it's there. And that's pretty much everything here with the LFO1 set to this stuff here in the filter and the oscillator. So let's have a look at the effects. I'll show you what that sounds like. It's just a rumble, it's just a sub. So let's start off, let's get some overtone, some saturation into it with this tube. Okay, so what I'm doing is also using the LFO1 to shape the drive of it. So it's obviously going to come in, and then the drive's going to push up. And what you'll notice is when we get this bass come together, moving points in this LFO here, we can get some different movements with the tube distorting it. And how it pushes in. So that's the reason why it's over a sustained amount too, because we can then create some shapes. But yeah, let's go with the compressor next, because this is how it works, because this is going to bring it all together. So now we're getting a full bass sound, and what I've got there, the threshold's at 0, the attack's at 0.1, the release is at 0.1, gain's at 6.7, and the ratio's on limit. So it's really extreme settings. Mix is full, and if you move these up and down here, just click and drag left and right. I've got it set to 200 on the lows, 167 on the mids, and 143 on the highs. It's just to bring a bit of the mids and the highs down in relation to the lows. But yeah, it's quite extreme settings. It's really pushing it quite hard. And next up, what I'm doing is I'm pushing some EQ into the this compression, this extreme compression. So what this is actually going to do is help create a different tone. And if you move the point that you're pushing up into this, it's going to help create different tones and vowel sounds, like bass talking sounds. Same with when it hits the formant filter as well, we'll get a different tone. So I'm just starting off by removing some low mids, 4.8 at 190 hertz, 190, 200 hertz, just to make it sound a bit cleaner in that region. It brings the top end out a bit cleaner. And the part that I'm pushing up is 30 by 13.5 dB, 900 hertz. The Q's at 0.57. So let me just move this frequency around and show you. So you can hear how we can get a different tone by doing that, pushing it up in that sort of like mid-range there. And the main thing that's going to get our sound is the formant filter. So let's put that on, formant 1. The cutoff starts at 246 and LFO4 is going to be moving it. So what will happen, it will start at 246 down here. And then as it gets up here, over this 2-bar, it's on the trigger mode, it's on the mode off. When it gets to there, over these 2 bars, it's going to go down to here. And that's what's creating the yee-yah sort of effect. The resonance is at 0 and the drive's at 100, formant's at 100. And the mix is at like 40%. So if I move this formant now, we should probably get a different, we start to get a different sound. If I was to move this here up, we don't get as much of the, the effect. So bringing that down all the way to like 100 from that point is what's getting us that effect. So yeah, that's pretty much how everything is made with this bass, this talking bass. I don't really think I've missed anything there. I think that's pretty much everything. I'll go through some of these variations as well, but let's have a look at the processing because it's not a lot. It's just to sort of like help it come in the mix a bit nicer and not hurt your ears because I've got the release down, right down, and using some extreme like gain on that multi-band compression. It can get, it seems to get a little bit like, I want to say a bit harsh in the top end. So what I'm doing is cutting it off at here at 8K, at a 24 dB slope octave. And as you can see here, I'm also cutting off at 20 hertz, boosting up the low mids, 100 hertz, 2 dB, and just where I've cut it off there, also about 5K. Let's have a listen to that. So yeah, it's it's quite subtle in these parts, but it's also getting rid of some of that extreme top end. And next up, I've got a clipper because obviously you can see I'm just ragging Serum. So yeah, we're just going to clip it now. And if we have a look on span, you can see with my medium hold mode, there's the settings. If you want to pause the video there, it's hitting -6 right where I expect it to be going to. So I've made that with that in mind. Pushing the level up, and if you put it on the hold mode. Doesn't want to go onto the hold mode. Don't know why. Okay, but yeah, I'll get it to about -6, and it's probably about -3 or something on the hold mode. And next up is shaper box. This is not doing anything, so that doesn't need to be there. We can turn that off. I think that'll be for a side chain though. And this is the last one. It's just another mix EQ. So there was this frequency popping out around the second harmonic. And I didn't want that to be there. I wanted to focus it more on this low mid here. So I've just removed a bit of that. And I'm pushing up where the character of the sound is by like 1.6 dB. And I'm taming from, as you can see, I'm putting the point at like 4.6. So you see where these parts are here. Play that. I'm just kind of like trying to tame that part and soften it up from the top end a bit. It's only by like 3 dB. But yeah, I just found that helped in the mix and it allowed this part to become the most predominant part and not the top end that would hurt the ears too much. So yeah, that's pretty much how this bass is made. I'm just going to go over a variation for you here. Let's play this one over here. So the processing is the same on the channel. The only thing different to get this variation here, that's not even meant to be on, so we can remove that. Don't worry about the variant there. What's going on here is, let's have a look. Variant. So I think we moved the formant filter, haven't we? So let's have a look on here. Dun, dun. So yeah, the performance all the way up there on this one, 100%. And on the variation, to get that sort of different thing, I think we moved so I've dropped it down to 800 hertz from 990 or something to create that different tone, 913 hertz. And it was originally at, oh no, I haven't changed that. Okay. So it's just the formant filter on this one then. So yeah. But what you can do, let's go to this one here, because what we've got here is another variation down here. If I show you this one here, if you start putting some movement in this first LFO, LFO1, like this, you'll get this sort of effect. You can. So yeah, that's just by like creating this sort of like gap here, so it comes in and then it'll. I think it's if I put it on trigger mode, it'll work better. Yeah, you can see it on trigger mode. It does it from the start. Strange that why I didn't have it on that. So now we could create some movement in this sound through this LFO. And we could also, go to the formant filter and move that again. And we could move this part here that creates a bit different tone. So there's lots of different possibilities here that you can explore when you get to know how to make this patch. You could go quick with it. But yeah, lots of different ideas. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you in this tutorial. So like I said, there won't be any preset for this one, but hopefully, that gets you engaged to start learning how to make this patch, and maybe you can use some of the ways that I've worked here into your own production, sound design. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. But yeah, it will be coming out on my Serum preset pack. And I'm also doing a bass sample pack as well to go with that. So yeah, I'll keep you updated if you want to have a look at that when it comes out. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to go over. So if you like the video, hit the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, obviously subscribe. And if you want to support me and grab this track, head over to my Patreon. I'm putting the link in the description. It's £10 a month, and this will be coming out on the 1st of March. Bit confusing. So I'm going to do it all again. And hopefully it won't be so confusing this time round. I should really, really check how my stuff is made.